You know, it's sort of funny how dark chips ended up with the exact same reputation they have in the games. People constantly warning others not to use them in BN4, and only telling people to use dark chips via Chaos Unison in 5. But honestly, is it really that bad, or is it just an exaggeration because of its one famous downside? I kind of want to go over what I've been seeing over the years from this community and kind of give my perspective as an avid dark chip addict. Because, being Forerunner, I've had my fair share of using dark chips and also my casual play. Because honestly, I don't think it's all that bad. And I swear this isn't dark chip propaganda. At least not intentionally. Okay, to make everybody turn against me immediately, I don't think HP loss is that big of a detriment, or at least not as big as a deal of how people make it out to be. It's at least in BN4. In BN5, it's a little hit or miss. I got my own reasons for that, but we'll talk about that later. But personally, I kind of find it a good punishment for taking that shortcut to power. It is a constant reminder of what you did to Mega Man, and the state you put him in. Though I used to agree with the HP loss being bad because why is the game punishing me for using a chip? Why am I losing access to an upgrade? I feel like at the time I felt like that was a weird detriment for using a game mechanic, even though looking back at it now, the game does warn you not to use it. But after a while, I started to think about it and realizing, wait a minute, why is losing HP all that bad? Because outside of maybe some people have really bad OCD and seeing uneven HP values kind of screw with them. So I agree with that, but I feel like more people want to take the, oh, I lose HP, therefore I have less HP for fights. Which, in that case, well, one, if you're getting hit that much and using dark chips that much, to the point where your HP is low enough where you would have to warrant worrying about your HP, my elitist is going to come out for a little bit. Stop being bad. If you drained your HP with dark chips to that low of a point where it is that detrimental because you keep getting hit, yeah, sorry, you're bad. Also, off the top of my head, the max amount of HP you can lose via using dark chips is it's either 499 or 500. I believe it's 500 if you have the maxed out 1000 HP, and 499 if you have anything below that. Off the top of my head, I could be wrong. And to go along with that, oh, maybe I want to do PvP. And I don't want to have to rely on stuff like Navi Customizer parts, because I want to rely on my full HP set. Well, for PvE, again, you shouldn't be using dark chips that much to drain your HP that much. Genuinely, I think that's a little bit ridiculous, but to move on to PvE, or PvP, honestly, that's not that big of a deal either, mainly because, at least from what I've seen from Japanese players, the BN4 and BN5 meta mostly revolve around Dark Mega Man to begin with, so if you're spamming dark chips that much, congrats, you're already metagame ready. But moving on to BN5 and how dark chips work there, most people would recommend using stuff like Chaos Unison because that is a way to use dark chips without that big of a detriment. Because, yeah, it does have the same debuff of, oh hey, you lose 1 HP, but now that Mega Man can just Soul Unison with a dark chip, and you essentially get free chip usage of that dark chip, I feel like, personally, I feel like that was an overcorrection to possible complaints back in the day. I don't know. I feel like maybe people weren't as vocal on like social media and like forums about this stuff to make Capcom like go, oh, we should change that. But I feel like this is an overcorrection for honestly what I thought was a good mechanic, because you weren't supposed to feel good using dark chips, because that's the whole point of it. I feel like Chaos Unison is too much of a good thing, it's too much of a benefit. Because using me as an example, there are times where if I were to Chaos Unison in BN5, I essentially, because I'm still sort of bad at the whole charge shot thing, I get 2 to 3 charge shots before I screw up my timing and force the Dark Mega Man AI to come out. Which, that's not that big of a detriment now. Because not only am I not losing that 1 HP, I get to shoot off at least 3 times, like using Dark White as an example. Let me go ahead and look up the value for that. Alright, so Dark White does 300 damage. And I'm able to shoot off, let's say, consistently 3 times before I fuck up and Dark Mega Man comes out. That is 600 damage that essentially swipes the entire screen. Honestly, that's ridiculous. That's too much of a good thing. That is a free screen wipe, with the only downside being, oh, the Dark Mega Man AI comes out, which, honestly, that's also not a good enough downside for how much power you get. You can screen nuke the entire screen for 300 damage a pop, and the downside is, oh, Dark Mega Man comes out, he spams his buster, and he misses 50 PAs in a row. I feel like they overcorrected the downside of using dark chips, and I feel like it loses the punishment value, which is why people are so quick to recommend it, because it no longer has that debuff of losing the HP, unless you use it without Chaos Unison, which most people, unless they're doing PvP, aren't gonna freely use dark chips normally, because in BN5, what's the point? There's no longer a debuff. It's nothing but benefit, unless you're that afraid of Dark Mega Man, which again, 50-50 on whether he's a nuisance or he's an actual threat, which most of the time he isn't. I feel like there might be a few more downsides and good sides to dark chips, but at the moment, I'm not sure if I got anything else, honestly. Honestly, at this point I'd usually have like a conclusion, but I got nothing. I'm just genuinely baffled at how weird the reputation of a game mechanic that warns you not to use it, how odd it is to me. Like, maybe I just don't understand other people's perspective on this, or maybe I don't have enough perspectives from different people, or maybe I'm just overthinking things. I don't know. I genuinely do not have like a proper way to end this, but I guess just let me know what you guys think, because honestly, I want to get more perspectives on why this is such a bad thing. Or not a bad thing, or why this is something you probably shouldn't go for, because like, regardless if you're going to tell somebody whether or not to do something, they're going to do it. The game mechanic exists for a reason, knowing that you're going to use it, so honestly, I kind of want to see more perspectives on dark chips and why they may be good or may be bad. But, with all that being said, I'm going to go ahead and head off. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a good night, or morning, whenever you're watching this. Bye-bye.